This is what happens
sitting there for a while.
It was a little pickle.
It was a little piece of pickle.
Pickle seed.
You just got tickled by a pickle.
Oh, I can't tell you how many times I've said that.
It's okay.
I don't know what that means.
Basically taken Elon Musk to take control of one of these companies to understand the truth that the Democrats have been working in conjunction with corporate America to suppress information, to put out misinformation, and to try to cast aspersions against Donald Trump and the Republican Party. There's going to be more investigations about this because this is a type of thing you cannot have in the United States of America.
Speaker Kevin McCarthy has followed through on his threat, booting 2 key Democrats off of the House Intelligence Committee, including former chair and Trump impeachment manager Adam Schiff and Eric Swalwell, who was also on the first impeachment committee. In a contentious exchange with reporters Tuesday night, McCarthy said it was a matter of national security, falsely accusing Schiff of lies about Donald Trump. It was a matter of national security, falsely accusing Schiff of lies about Donald Trump.
You lying ass bitch.
Falsely accusing Schiff of lies about Donald Trump.
Sweet mother of God.
One of the things that Bob Mueller, I believe, needs to do a thorough investigation to determine whether the Russians were laundering money through the Trump Organization, whether that is the leverage the Russians may have over the President of the United States. We're also looking at persistent allegations that the Russians have been laundering money through the Trump Organization. I don't know that that's true.
Sorry, let me just stop you there. Do you have reason to believe that's the case? The Russians were laundering money through the Trump Organization as the leverage?
I don't know that that's true. Well, there's certainly many serious allegations about this.
Falsely accusing Schiff of lies about Donald Trump.
He said not long ago, under Article 2, I could do whatever I want.
To hear people say, well, this man thought he was a king because he said he could do anything he wanted, when they know that that statement was in the context of whether or not he could fire Mueller.
As he said not long ago, under Article 2, I could do whatever I want.
And of course he could fire Mueller. He could fire or not fire Mueller.
You said that there was direct evidence of the fact that Donald Trump colluded with Russia back in 2016.
You listen to Adam Schiff. He said that there was actual evidence. There isn't not only no evidence, you don't have even a single witness.
There is significant evidence, much of it in the public domain, on the issue of collusion.
Adam Schiff lied about having, quote unquote, stone cold evidence about Russia collusion. It wasn't called to task for it.
I'm talking about Adam Schiff going on TV shows like Chuck Todd on NBC and telling the American people that there was collusion between Trump and Russia, quote unquote, in plain sight. Why does he get a pass to lie?
So you have seen direct evidence of collusion?
I don't want to go into specifics, but I will say that there is evidence that is not circumstantial. But I thought there was circumstantial evidence of collusion or coordination, and that there was direct evidence of deception. I can say, in my opinion, it's now not purely circumstantial.
And for Adam Schiff to continue to throw out new allegations with no evidence, no witness, no smoking gun is the most irresponsible thing you can do when you're entrusted with that gavel there on the Intel Committee.
Special counsel Robert Mueller said in his report, quote, the investigation did not establish that members of the Trump campaign conspired or coordinated with the Russian government. Republicans argue that's proof that you used your position on the Intelligence Committee to intentionally mislead Americans, which is why you should not be on that committee.
If you read the Mueller report, he makes clear, even in the first few pages of the report, that he states no conclusion on whether Donald Trump and his campaign colluded with the Russians.
After a nearly 2-year-long investigation, Robert Mueller concluded there was, quote, no collusion between the president or his campaign with Russia.
If you read the Mueller report, he states no conclusion on whether Donald Trump and his campaign colluded with the Russians.
After 22 months, quote, the special counsel's investigation did not find that the Trump campaign or anyone associated with it conspired or coordinated with Russia.
Mueller found no collusion between President Trump or his campaign in Russia.
He states no conclusion on whether Donald Trump and his campaign colluded with the Russians.
The investigation did not establish that members of the Trump campaign conspired with the Russian government in its election interference activities.
Falsely accusing Schiff of lies about Donald Trump.
Read the Mueller report.
He states no conclusion on whether Donald Trump and his campaign colluded with the Russians.
Oftentimes you hear prosecutors say there wasn't enough evidence to charge a crime of collusion, say conspiracy. Here, Bob Mueller didn't say we didn't have enough evidence. He said there was no evidence. And so the problem that you have for folks like Adam Schiff and Eric Swalwell and others like that, that said not only did the president commit crimes, but they had evidence of those crimes, they've got some explaining to do.
This wasn't just any chairman making that statement. This was the chairman of the Intel Committee, the committee that gets additional information than the rest of us get, going on television and saying something that was not true. That's the concern. And that is why so many Americans are upset with what took place for 3 years, all based on baloney.
He's one of these politicians who have lied repeatedly about Russia and Donald Trump.
And there is significant evidence of collusion. There is ample evidence, and indeed there is, of collusion of people in the Trump campaign with the Russians. I think there's plenty of evidence of collusion or conspiracy.
Well, in the end, you know what happened or didn't. Schiff did not produce the evidence. He didn't have it because it doesn't exist. Schiff was bluffing, which is to say, lying. Adam Schiff never believed a word he was saying about Russian collusion. Adam Schiff is a soulless liar. He's a man willing to say literally anything for political advantage. And that's really the worst of all. Being a lunatic would be much more appealing than that.
Let me give you another. He says that this is part of a pattern. Ahead of the first Trump impeachment, you said the committee had not spoken to a whistleblower. In fact, that turned out not to be true. You know, the Washington Post said so in their fact check.
This is really quite a travesty to see the House Intelligence Committee led by a man who has lied several times just in the last few weeks.
You said the committee had not spoken to a whistleblower. In fact, that turned out not to be true.
I do not know the identity of the whistleblower, and I'm determined to make sure that identity is protected. Several of my colleagues made the statement repeatedly that I've met with the whistleblower, that I know who the whistleblower is. It was false the first time they said it. It was false the second through 40th time they said it. It will be false the last time they say it.
Mr. Chairman, only one member and their staff on this committee has direct knowledge of the identity of the whistleblower.
Will suspend.
What did House Intelligence Committee Chairman Adam Schiff know about the now infamous whistleblower report that is fueling today's impeachment inquiry, and when did he know it?
The Washington Post identified that, yes, before the person became a whistleblower, they sought advice from the committee. When I was asked the question, I thought they were referring to whether we had brought the whistleblower in. And I should have been more clear in my answer.
So Adam Schiff now admits he should have been much more clear about how he unleashed the impeachment circus. Note, when a politician says they should be much more clear, they mean, I wish you hadn't caught me lying to your face.
I should have been more clear in my answer. I should have been much more clear, and I said so the minute it was brought to my attention, that I was referring to the fact that when the whistleblower filed the complaint, we had not heard from the whistleblower. We wanted to bring the whistleblower in at that time, but I should have been much more clear about that.
Whistleblower got caught with Chairman Schiff. Have you spoken directly with the whistleblower? No, we have not. We'd like to.
We have not spoken directly with the whistleblower. We would like to.
That wasn't true.
We would love to talk directly with the whistleblower. I do not know the identity of the whistleblower, and I'm determined to make sure that identity is protected.
You know, instead of trying to be clear, it might just save time if you just decided to be honest.
He lied when he passed his own words off as President Trump's to Congress and the American people in the transcript.
We've been very good to your country, very good. No other country has done as much as we have. But you know what? I don't see much reciprocity here. I hear what you want. I have a favor I want from you, though. And I'm going to say this only 7 times, so you better listen good.
This is lie after lie after lie, and the media keep putting Adam Schiff on the same par with anybody else who has any shred of credibility. His credibility is gone, and he needs to be held to task for it.
I want you to make up dirt on my political opponent, understand lots of it. You know what I'm asking, and so I'm only going to say this a few more times, in a few more ways. And by the way, don't call me again. I'll call you when you've done what I asked.
How does he get away with going on TV and lying to the American people that there's collusion in plain sight? Where's the accountability?
Well, actually, he's not going to get away with this one. There's a reason why Speaker McCarthy is going to remove him from the Intel Committee. This is the reason why. Because he blatantly was lying. There are many members who believe he was leaking to the press, leaking key information to the press. And so that's one of those things we're not going to allow him to stay on the Intel Committee, because now the proof is clear to the American people that Adam Schiff just simply can't be trusted with one of the most sensitive committees in all of Congress, the Intelligence Committee.
In a contentious exchange with reporters Tuesday night, McCarthy said it was a matter of national security.
He can serve on a committee, but he will not serve on Intel because it goes to the national security of America, and I will always put them first.
In a contentious exchange with reporters Tuesday night, McCarthy said it was a matter of national security, falsely accusing Schiff of lies about Donald Trump